Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, game, psychology, biology, human relations, everything in between. Little ramble for this one. So, I haven't paid attention to no red pill content for a minute. I used to be into a couple of content creators, but I just don't have the time no more to pay attention to all of that. If I'm listening to something, it has to be. I'd rather listen to a bit of music in my spare time, to be honest with you, when I can get around to it. I don't care for no one's opinion at this point, but back then, I don't know if it's still a thing. I might sound like granddad on this one, because I know it's been going on for a minute, but there used to be this thing about high value men, right? Bruh, no such thing as a high value man, you know? Everyone's got something, and this is gonna, let this be a feel good video. Let this be a feel good expression of masculinity right about now, yeah? You can improve yourself. 90% of self-improvement and self-improvement sales is a scam. The more time you sit around reading books about how you can improve yourself and not actually acting on improving yourself, it's not going to work. I read a fair few books. Think and Grow Rich, a lot of crap. 48 Laws was alright, but don't take it too serious. What else is there, man? I put down Jordan Peterson's book after the second chapter. Load of crap. He himself is a load of crap. Just talks mumbo jumbo and sounds smart to dumb people. Scrap that. On the flip side, there's a couple of good ones. What was it? How to Win Friends and Influence People. Basic game, but timeless. That's the thing. We don't need no frills. No New York bestseller written on the front and all this and that. Back to basics. But with that being said, all these mainstream books, all of these content creators selling your books because they want to make a couple of quid off of, you know what I mean, off of the men they can market to. They're good marketers, that's all it is. The real game is in the science. The real game is picking up a book on evolutionary biology. The real game is picking up a book on how hormones and the chemistry of the body affects the brain and the mind, and how we conjure and manipulate such chemicals, and how we relate to each other through this bonding mechanism, and the idea of advertisement and the idea of social engineering and marketing. This all links into our tribalistic nature, and this is the real game, yeah? The one which isn't polished with a fancy name. It's the boring stuff. The boring stuff is what's going to give you insight, and you yourself are going to acknowledge and recognize the patterns. So, with that being said, talking about self-improvement and that, yeah, you can improve yourself. You can get your game up. You can get your money up. You can get your body up, which, between you and me, that whole body game's nonsense. Health is important. The whole you going and getting a six-pack and all this and that. It's not that important. It's not as important as you getting your status up, your money up, and all this and that. It's not as important, honestly. You'll see the fattest guy on planet Earth. He'll have the nicest women because they're interested in him with the position he holds, with what he can provide, who he is. He doesn't have to be on death's door. We don't want that for nobody. We want to stay fit and healthy. I like training. I like the gym. I like strength training. But hear it from me first and foremost, people. It's nice once you get to the bedroom and she says, I feel so safe and comfortable in your arms and this and that. But she'll be saying it to the next man who can pay off the next man to do the job for her. Do you know what I mean? So, speaking on high value men, bro, unless you're born into the billionaire family of you know what I mean? Unless you're built as some tycoon family, who are you to talk about high value? Just deal with what you've got, do what you got, pursue your passion, pursue your interest. Naturally speaking, you will attain the top of your field because you're excellent and you are a man. And you should screw all of that value stuff, because trust me, the next man who is high value has got chinks in his armour. Because if he's focusing on one particular thing, he's severely lacking in the other. And then the next man comes along. Let's say some guy's got a load of money. Let his wife be around somebody who's got no money, but knows the ins and outs of wordplay. Knows the ins and outs, who's been studying Shakespeare, who's been studying the Lord Byron, who's poetic in nature and in movement and in charisma. You put her next to that guy. Yeah, she might not cheat. Nobody wants to be cheating. No, we're not talking about that. That's nonsense. That's bad news. We're not talking bad vibes on this video. But you put it to the next person, you don't think she's going to be sexually attracted to him? Because it's above and beyond. No high value man has everything. Everyone can be valuable in something. The homeless man on the street can walk with such a swagger, he can't help but garner attention when he walks by. Is that high value? Because it's more high value than the man who just disappears into nothingness because he's not seen yet. He's got all the money in the world in his bank account. And in his company, he's the CEO. External to that, people don't look at him like that. What is high value? It's nothing. It's meaningless. Because it's all dynamic and it all depends on so much. Do I understand where it can be applied? Yes, most definitely. But I think it's a sad way of looking at it. Because you got these little boys who are never going to amount to nothing, who now talk about, I'm a high value man. And these content creators, I'm a high value man. Well, the content creator isn't a high value man to the, the person, let's say how high value is that man on YouTube who is making a killing off of YouTube, selling courses and doing this, that and the third, selling his story and then buying new cars to impress these girls off of YouTube and that. What about when some little employee on YouTube sees his channel and thinks, you're breaking the rules and regulations and then bans his life? Is that a high value man who's just taking that action? This is a pimp game and there's hierarchies and hierarchical structures and pimps and hoes and tricks, i.e. consumers, in every single field depending on what perspective you look at it, right? There's no such thing. The highest value man is the lowest value man when you perceive him from a specific situation. This is the game. It's a deep game. It's a deep game. It's a deep game. It is a deep game. That woman's going to look at you as a high value man when you lie to her and tell her that's your Porsche. What does that mean? Are you high value at this point because you gamed her? It depends. Some people are fine with lying, some people are not. It's all a matter of perception. You are high value as long as you have drive, ambition, and pursue what you want to do and have an active approach in doing so. Then you can feel good and you can start breaking down walls and you can start achieving what you want to do instead of impressing nobody but yourself. Then you can look at yourself and say, I am high value because look at what I can do, what nobody else is doing. That's game. That's a little rant and a ramble. I don't mind the red pill. I don't mind the black pill, to be honest. And I don't mind the blue pill. They're all separate approaches to the same game. It all makes sense, but you can't get lost in the sauce, people. On that note, I'm signing out. I upload every day. Click like and subscribe. I don't normally rant and ramble. I get down into specifics and I tell you how to learn how to read people and how to read yourself and how to understand how this world works. But that's just a little rant and a ramble. Click subscribe. We've got 2 links down in the description. One will take you through to my catalogue of body language. Over 220 videos on YouTube compiled in a playlist how to read someone from A to B to top to bottom. Second to that is my Patreon. I'll show you how to read attraction and repulsion cues. You won't learn it anywhere else. I'm signing out. Peace.